We've all faced that moment, haven't we? That crossroads where a door you were sure was about to open slams right in your face. The promotion you thought was a lock goes to someone else. The job you were counting on suddenly evaporates. In that instant, it feels like the world is collapsing. It feels personal, like a final judgment on your worth. But what if I told you that sometimes, that slammed door isn't a barrier at all? It's a redirection. It's the universe, or fate, or whatever you want to call it, telling you that the path you're on leads straight to a cliff. It's doing you a massive, painful favor by shoving you onto a completely different road. Even if, in that moment, it hurts like hell. This isn't some philosophical theory for me. It's my life story. And it all started back in the early 2000s, at a fast food joint where my entire future seemed to be mapped out. I was a shift manager, juggling work with classes at a local community college. I was good at my job, I was reliable, and I was hungry for the next step. Then, our store manager suddenly quit. It was the break I thought I needed. The assistant manager, a genuinely good guy I respected, was the obvious internal choice to take over. He pulled me aside and made me a promise. He said, "When I get this job, you're going to be my assistant manager. A salaried position. Benefits. A real career path." It felt like my ticket was punched. But there was another candidate in the running. A guy from another store, with a reputation that preceded him. He was known for being a corporate favorite, but also for being cutthroat. His M.O. was to come into a new store and clean house, bringing in what everyone called his people. It was a classic showdown, the loyal insider versus the corporate shark. We all held our breath, hoping for the best. Guess who corporate picked? The new guy's first day was like a scene from a movie. The air was thick with tension. He walked in, offered cold, clipped introductions, and then the purge began. One by one, he called the shift managers into the office. One by one, they came out, collected their things, and left without saying a word. Finally, it was my turn. The conversation was brutally short. There was no discussion, no review of my performance. He just told me my services were no longer needed. Just like that, the career path I saw stretching out before me had vanished. I was out. I walked out of that store feeling a toxic cocktail of emotions. I was angry, I was scared, and more than anything, I was deeply humiliated. The future I had been promised just hours before was gone. It felt like a total, catastrophic failure. At first, I was completely adrift. The anger and humiliation were all-consuming. I spent a few weeks just stewing in it, replaying that final conversation over and over in my head. What did I do wrong? Why me? It felt so unfair. But then, a new thought started to creep in. With my fast food job gone, the main thing tying me to my hometown was gone too. That part-time community college plan suddenly felt small. On a whim, driven more by a need to escape than any grand plan, I started looking at four-year universities. I found one a few hours away, filled out the application, and sent it off, not expecting much. Then the acceptance letter came. It was a lifeline. And ironically, the severance pay I got from being fired, that failure at the fast food joint, was what funded my escape. It paid for my first semester's deposit and books. Suddenly, I was packing my bags and heading off to a real campus. I got the whole experience, the dorm life, the sprawling green quads, the all-night study sessions in the library fueled by bad coffee. I was learning, growing, and becoming a completely different person than the guy who was so devastated about losing a promotion. And then, in my second year, at a campus event I almost didn't go to, I met Sarah. My future wife. I think about that a lot. None of it happens if I get that promotion. None of it. I wouldn't have gone to that university. I wouldn't have met my wife. I'd have been working 60-hour weeks as a salaried fast food manager, probably stressed and miserable, completely oblivious to the life I was missing out on. Fast forward about a decade, to around 2010. I was back in my hometown for the holidays, doing some last-minute shopping. I was walking down an aisle in a big-box discount store when I did a double take. And there he was. In a red store vest, looking tired and worn down, stocking cans of soup onto a shelf. It was him. My former boss. The guy who fired me, the guy who ended my fast food future. And I have to be honest, the feeling that washed over me, the schadenfreude, it was delicious. It was a petty, satisfying, full-circle moment. The first thing I did was call my old friend, the one manager he had kept on all those years ago. We met up for a beer, and he told me the whole epic story of the manager's downfall. It turns out, the guy wasn't just a jerk, he was a crook. For 3 years, he ran a little crime ring right there in the store. He was skimming cash from the deposits and framing other employees for having short drawers to cover his tracks. He was a master manipulator. But his greed eventually got the best of him. Corporate got suspicious about the recurring discrepancies and installed new, state-of-the-art hidden cameras throughout the store. The manager knew about the cameras, but he made a critical mistake. He thought they were only live feeds, for monitoring in the moment. He had no idea they were recording everything. The end came swiftly. Corporate security watched the recordings and caught him red-handed, on crystal clear video, taking $150 from a deposit bag and stuffing it in his pocket. He was fired on the spot. In a move of baffling loyalty, his crew, the people he'd brought in, all quit in protest. Just like that, his fast food career, the one he had built by stepping on people like me, was over. He was blacklisted from the industry. And that's how he ended up stocking shelves for minimum wage. This whole story really makes you wonder, how do we judge life setbacks? When I got fired, it felt like a tragic injustice. But was it? Or was I just lucky to be kicked off a sinking ship? Maybe I created my own luck by using that rejection as fuel to build a better life. And what about the manager's fate? Was his downfall simple justice, the universe balancing the scales for his crookedness? Or was he just another person who made a series of bad choices and ultimately had to pay for them? It challenges this whole idea that success is a straight line. Sometimes, the universe doesn't give you what you want because it's saving you for something so much better. Or maybe, it's just saving you from yourself. It also brings up a tough question. When we see someone who wronged us finally fall, is it okay to feel that sense of vindication? Or is it just petty and small? Have you ever had a setback that, in hindsight, was actually a setup for something far greater? A moment of rejection that contained the seed of your entire future? It's these twists of fate and fortune that we dissect here. We invite you to weigh the evidence and deliver your own judgment. Was my misfortune actually a blessing in disguise? Subscribe to The Verdict Zone and help us decide. Thanks for watching.